Okay. And it looks like this time I have permission to go live on Facebook. Well, haha. I appreciate being permitted. Let me get this thing up and or running then.
Now, sisters and brothers, we know we got over by the blood, the sweat, and the tears of sheroes and heroes, some whose names we know and some whose names we do not know. But I want to tell you something, we have been here before. Now, the only difference is we got some company, Rev. We got our gay lesbian sisters and brothers with us this time. We got our Hispanic, Asian, Native American sisters and brothers with us this time. I think Dr. Reverend Martin Luther King said we may not have gotten here on the same ship, but we are in the same boat right now.
I mean, Jesus was a white man too.
In Father Teresa's Wine Cellar, we believe all oppression is intersectional. And this means our analysis of current events frequently includes discussion of difficult and explicit content. Any combination of the following topics could be included in our show: murder, rape, war, climate change, racism, sexism, violence, sexual violence, homophobic violence, heterocentrism, discrimination and abuse against individuals of nonconformist sexuality, domestic violence, child abuse, child rape, child neglect, elderly abuse, verbal abuse, police brutality, microaggressions, ableism, cyberbullying, genital mutilation, ideological extremism, and people just being total fucking assholes.
All right. WineCellarMedia.com. William J. Jackson, the greatest black atheist. Holy shit. Do we say that anymore? That's old school wine cellar shit, buddy. Phoenix Kaliter is in a meeting. She is a busy individual. All right. That's the cool way to say it. If you say it like that, you're hip. And we make sure this is out. And I should be able to see comments as they roll in, if they roll in. Oh, good. David Packman and Tom Hartman are also fucking live at the exact same time. Like I have competition with them. I'm nowhere near those fuckermuckers. All right, two people checking out the program, and let's take a look at just a couple of things I noticed. Found a little interesting. So Trumpelstiltskin has this pardon list here, and one of the heads on this pardon list is the Kodak Black, which is a whack rapper, to my understanding, and I think we covered Kodak Black because he was saying some wild misogynist shit. And but yeah, now he's got a pardon from Trumpelstiltskin on his way out of there. And where's a little bit of information on this? He's 23 years old. So I think when we covered Kodak Black shit, my goodness gracious, the fucker had to have been like 19. So we did not cover him recently with the shit that he was saying about dark-skinned black women. I think he's out of Florida. And yeah, his name is Bill Quan Capri, and he is in a federal prison for making a false statement to buy a firearm, and which I have no idea what he wants to do with a strap. Nigga, you a rapper now. Go do rapper shit. live the rapper life, man. Like I don't understand some of these niggas. But and he pled guilty to that August in 2019. So what? When he was 21 years old? Jesus Christ. And 3 months later was sentenced to 3 years and 10 months in prison, seeking a compassionate release. And apparently Lil Wayne got one. I think Lil Wayne was facing 10 years. He's 38. Wayne's just a little older than me. He just made it into millennial. And he pled guilty in federal court for possessing a firearm. And yeah, he was facing a 10-year. And I think he had already fucking did a year in Rikers, didn't he? Like, Jesus fucking Christ. Yeah, so Trump will still pardon them cats because Wayne wore some fucking dorky sweater and took a picture with him. Real cute. Trump administration, they're saying that he's trying to sabotage the Biden administration with some last minute deals. And that wouldn't surprise me. Trump's a goddamn weirdo, and Republicans have done shit like this. We've seen that out of oh god, I want to say it was Ohio, like the Republican I think it was just a mayor, actually, not like the governor, but they just did some extracurricular bullshit on their way out just to fuck with the Democrats coming in. So just taking a look here off of NBC. The current and former Trump administration officials say the Department of Homeland Security has made a last-minute effort to sabotage the incoming administration's efforts to unroll its tough immigration policies by signing legal agreements into recent weeks with state and local authorities that are intended to delay any such changes for 180 days. And so that's the thing, like, you want to roll back from Trump's immigration policies to maybe something more like the previous administration where they did the most deportations. You kind of want to get back there. It's back to normal time. All right, folks, this is the libtatorship of the brunchitariat. All right, we got to get back to normal. We can't keep goofing around here. Taking a look at a little bit more of this, for such agreements signed by attorneys general of Indiana, Louisiana, and Arizona, and the sheriff of Rockingham County, North Carolina, were first reported by the folks over there at BuzzFeed News, and legal experts have questioned whether they can actually be enforced. And what do? I take a moment to go check on the archive chat space, just in case there's chat happening in the space, which I does not be seeing, so I think I might be okay to keep on dancing it forward. And just a little bit more from this stuff. Biden says he's going to extend student loan payment deferrals until October. And I don't think there's much to it from the video clip here.
In this pandemic, in America, we cannot let people go hungry. We cannot let people get evicted. We cannot watch nurses, educators, and others lose their jobs. We so badly need them. We must act now and act decisively. To the millions of you just looking for a fighting chance in this economy, I promise you, we will not forget you. We understand what you're going through. We will never, ever give up.
This is the libtatorship of the brunchitariat.
And we will come back. We'll come back together. Well, we didn't get into all this overnight. We won't get out of it overnight. And we can't do it as a separated and divided nation. The only way we can do it is to come together as fellow Americans.
How silly is this idea? Like, come together? Like, y'all realize the opposition is driving their cars into people on purpose. Nigga, your opposition just ran up in the shit, fucking knocking out niggas' panic buttons and shit. You had niggas obviously, like, I think it was it Rashida Tlaib that was like, oh, I think some of them, I think that was Ocasio-Cortez. It was like, yo, I think some of them Republican niggas actually brought them fools in here on recon missions before, fronting like it was just a tour. Take a little drink of my little warm beverage there. Yeah, come together. And I mean, even before this, like the Donald Trump emboldened them, nigga, they shooting abortion doctors, neo-Nazi gang members murdering black people at random. That's not new. Nigga, when they tried to murder me, that was in 2012. Wasn't no emboldened by Trump.
As neighbors, as the United States of America. And when we do, There's nothing beyond our capacity. I've said this many times.
I really don't think Democrats like, and I know a bunch of them I think are cynics, but I don't think like the rank and file typical like well-meaning, well-intentioned Democrat that like really is honestly yassing the queen. Like that person has no idea how far off right-wingers are ideologically. Like, I think people really should take a break from shit you already agree with, from shit you're comfortable with, and really listen to some fucking right-wing radio right now. Go to that website, rightwingwatch.org, and look at some of the shit that's getting spewed into the typical right-winger's brain. There's no coming together with those fucking people. They think that you're fucking demonic baby-killing pedophile Satanists. Satanic panic again, as it were, but it doesn't really have to have the same name.
When America acts as one, there's never been a single thing we've been unable to do, no matter how consequential the issue has been. Out of all the peril of this moment, I want you to know, I give you a word, I see the promise as well. We've seen clearly what we face now. And I remain so optimistic about America. As optimistic as I've ever been. We have everything we need, but the will must be demonstrated. So come Wednesday, we begin a new chapter. The Vice President-elect and I will do our best to meet all the expectations you have for the country and the expectations we have for it. I'm confident. I am truly confident. Together, we can get this done.
No. Joe, oh man, he's so goddamn silly. Taking a look at a little bit of this from CNN Politics. President-elect Joe Biden will direct the Department of Education Wednesday to extend the suspension of federal student loan payments and interest. Borrowers will not have to make payments until October 1st at the earliest. So, but they still have to finish paying the whole damn thing off while essentially having lost money, some sort of equity, investment opportunities, and other such things they could have done. Just fucking don't charge them for those months. Wipe those off. Consider them paid. Mark off each one as paid. That's an incrementalism I could fucking get behind for a half a piece a second here. And just taking a quick dance back. Archive chat space saying Jessica May saying we have never been united. And I also said I bet they did go on recon tours. Yeah, I think so. There is Maria Hernandez in the archive chat space saying, they did. That lady stole the laptop and was giving directions like she studied the place and got the inside scoop. Yeah, they were housing the joint, as it were, I think is what one might call that. And yeah, I ran my mouth. I was like, I got to get away from the from the political news because Jesus Christ, it's just going to be 4 years of
yes, queen, go off, girl boss, pussy hat slay.
But I'll hit the basic headlines. Might as well. But then this is important. Let's take a look at this here. Oh, if it will. Well, thanks a lot, NBC Channel 5. Do we have that one going?
In a Denton County neighborhood say an unstable man is terrorizing a neighbor by throwing food on her property, yelling racist, verbal attacks, and more. And now they're demanding the sheriff's office do more to protect her.
Maria Guerrero spoke to the woman who says she can't even stay in her own home right now.
Stacy Livingston says she is being terrorized by a neighbor to the point she had to flee her home and stay in a hotel over the weekend.
I have gone through so much emotional trauma at this point that I don't feel protected by law enforcement. My neighbors are the ones who have stepped in to try to help me.
And it is a neighbor's home surveillance camera that captures some of Livingston's claims. This man walking toward her home near Frisco, repeatedly yelling racial slurs.
He's saying, gotta feed her, gotta feed her. That's my, gotta feed her. And so he has something in his hand, food or whatever, and he throws it onto my driveway.
Livingston says she and her son had always been friendly with the odd neighbor down the road, never had issues. But since last Wednesday, she's become his target.
And singing, gotta kill, gonna kill, dog food.
She says her home has also been vandalized. A cable box was ripped up. Someone spray painted the N-word on her driveway, though neither were caught on camera. She and frightened neighbors have called 911 several times.
One of the sheriffs said, I just suggest, ma'am, that you stay away from the house for a couple of days until this blows over.
I begged the cops. I said, it's horrible.
And Miss Livingston has a genuine fear for her life.
Livingston's attorney says law enforcement should investigate this as a hate crime.
They've been alerted to this dozens of times over the weekend, over the last week, really, and have failed to take any serious action.
I just feel like my life doesn't matter.
Ms. Stacy, what is your biggest fear in all of this?
Losing my life. My biggest fear was my safety.
We asked.
Yeah. And so like that terrorism is going on. And what I think I want to do, I think I'll actually go ahead and why don't I take this to Twitter, because it's that type of story, right? This black woman's being terrorized by this potential murderer and everything else that you can expect from a white man from the past 5 centuries. And I'm going to take it to Twitter and tag Tariq Nasheed. All right, at Tariq Nasheed and at Boyce Watkins. And I'm going to say, you brothers have the reach and influence to get some protection to her. Help her out. You know, because I think with the kind of, again, the kind of fundraising reach and the kind of influence they have, they could do that. But it's up to me to send them the link. Uh-oh, did I just, looks like somebody else just tweeted this same link like a damn near like a second right before me. That's rowdy. All right. All right. So taking a look more of what's what the hell is going on. So I don't know what this individual is looking at on the privately owned social media. I don't know what they're being influenced by. I have strong doubts Black Twitter had anything to do with anything. But a Florida man, it is Wednesday, you know, a tiny wee bitty boo of white on white crime in your life. A Florida man armed with twisted tea and a metal pipe threatens former employer. We're in Charlotte County. Why wouldn't we be? Yeah, my mother's name. Great, Charlotte County. Let's do it. Their sheriff's office, fucking pigs, is making things clear. Let them be very clear. When you threaten your former employer with a deadly weapon, you get arrested. The individual goes by the name of Shane Gillis and is accused of threatening to injure his ex-employer. When deputies arrived to detain Gillis, they overheard him tell the victim that he had something for them and was on his way. Gillis was holding a twisted tea can. I can't with this shit. There's actually a picture of it for evidence. The twisted tea can. Everyone get a load. All right. Had it in the glove box. Nigga. Got them fangs. What? Hey, y'all tell me gangster rap is mind control? Ain't nobody listened to a gangster rap record and did that shit because of that record, but apparently a good GIF image will have you feeling like you can be a hero too. So Shane Gillis threatening his ex-employer, and said he had something for him, holding a twisted tea can in his right hand, which is considered a deadly weapon on the streets. Get the fuck out of here. All right. As people tend to say, anything can be a weapon, right? I got some pens, pencils here. But like a deadly weapon on the streets, is that really a thing beyond that GIF image of really someone defending himself? Like that was a potentially violent racist that was all up in his faces. All right. So we had to get his face out of his face by any tea necessary. And so, yeah, a deadly weapon on the street. Get the fuck out of here. And he kept his left hand behind his back as he walked toward the victim. When deputies stopped Gillis, he told them that he had a metal pipe tucked into the back of his jeans. As Gillis was being handcuffed, he continued to threaten the victim. He was arrested for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon without intent to kill. So they consider it a deadly weapon on the streets, but also arrest him on the charge of without intent to kill, because you're bullshitting yourself. So I'm trying to be like, well, maybe we can, because this is a white dude. Now I'm interested because they're trying to say deadly weapon on the streets. They're waiting to get a black dude, see if they can crack open his phone, see if he shared a twisted tea meme, and then make it fucking premeditated. The fuck out of here. The metal pipe in Gillis's jeans was about 28 inches of solid metal. How the fuck are you walking around with that in your jeans? You had to think about doing that and do it. I gotta look back up at Gillis's face. It's like, no, he would do it. Yeah, all right. The metal pipe is, and the article ends on, did the twisted tea make him do it, or was Gillis going to do it with the twisted tea? They may never know. Who wrote that? Eric O'Brien over here with ABC7. All right, and a little bit more. So we've seen Miya Ponsetto, right? And I just couldn't help but notice there really is no new fresh news, but this is something that I can't ignore when I see things, right? So I'm looking for fresh news updates on Miya Ponsetto. If you forgot, Miya Ponsetto was the person who physically attacked, like on some, like, remember that movie The Best Man, my 90s kids out there? And the fucking, like when Morris Chestnut was reading the book and then hopped at Taye Diggs coming over to bed. That's what that clip of her attacking that little ass boy reminds me of. Remember, 14-year-olds, like, everyone doesn't go through the growth spurt or, you know, the puberty at the same rate. For the most part, 14-year-olds are frail little weak ass people. Like, they're not all varsity football. 14-year-olds are fucking weak. And this is a grown-ass 22-year-old attacking physically that weak-ass little 14-year-old with class privilege, which tends to make me think it might be a little weaker. All right, so this is Miya, M-I-Y-A Ponsetto. And what I'm seeing is, so we covered the, where they did the Gayle King interview, Phoenix Kalita and I. And what we're seeing in the aftermath of that, of other coverage coming off of the New York Post, and, you know, other such outlets. And where's this other one? The Toronto Sun, is that people are talking about her crop top. Like, this is like, at least at the top of my Google search, this was at the top of my shit when I just searched her name. And then I put the settings to anything from the past 7 days. Like, just that fucking bullshit. Like, as soon as you see an assumed cis woman, a femme person, it's like, well, how did they present themselves? And like, even right here, like, also came up not at the very top, but like literally like 5 or 6 spaces down in the search results, a Reddit thread. And the Reddit thread is started as Soho Karen launching OnlyFans page. and someone saying she can hump black dildos and call them daddy. Afterwards, she can accuse them of stealing her phone, and her mom could co-star and say things like, no, that's my daughter's. And this is why sometimes I'm just kind of rooting for the climate change. Just bring on that climate change. It's over. And looking at the archive, chat, 19 comments. What the fuck have I been missing? What is going on here? Y'all folks set me up. Housing the joint, as it were. There we are. Yeah, what am I missing? There could be commentary of things that I didn't think of, which it tends to be a lot. Said agreed. Why are we still being charged interest on student loans that we do not need to pay? And skibby flibby dibby doo. Jessica May saying maybe tag that Benjamin Crump guy to help someone before they're murdered. Maybe. Right? He seems to be like a settlement hustler. I don't know much about the cat, but that's what I've seen since I found out about him. Oh God, I didn't know about this cat till 2013. And like, apparently, like, I had some black coworkers back when I was in the restaurant in Florida, and like they'd been known about Crump. Like I was out of the loop, apparently, that he's just a big settlement hustler. And Skibby Flair, Jessica May saying he brought that twisted tea. He was trying to end someone's life. Ah, yes, with a smash and a splash. It's a little smashy splashy, and all of a sudden you have another dead Florida man. Dibby 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 doo. Yeah, crop top. And DC Love saying pans over to see if he's the kind of white dude to do that. Oh yeah, he's definitely the kind of white dude. But seriously, same. He does look like the kind of dude to hide a 28-inch pipe in his pants. Yeah. Oh, matter of fact, now that I'm noticing, I never took his face off the screen. So yeah, you can just kind of keep there and just kind of analyze it. Just the casual, like you can kind of tell this isn't a cat that typically goes beyond the first thought, right? The first thought is the decision. I'm hungry, I'm eating. As soon as like first food, fuck it, moldy hot dog on the ground. I'm hungry, I'm eating. Just he's a first thought guy. And of course, folks know I am a wee bit of a climate change head. And I just thought that folks might find some of this interesting coming off of the folks at British Broadcasting Corporation. I really think they should think about changing the name given how it affects Google searches for their stuff. And their news from British Broadcasting Corporation, climate change, U.S. emissions in 2020 is in its biggest fall since World War II. Nigga what? By Matt McGrath. And they bullet list it, as they tend to do with some of these things. Africa's green transition, unlikely this decade. 3 billion pounds of UK climate finance to be spent on supporting nature. And an individual that goes by the name of Prince Charles, I guess he's real special, asked firms to join Earth Charter. Excuse me. So in transport and the restrictions of international travel and non-essential journeys saw a demand for fuel fall sharply. So yeah, it is a bit of water is wet news. But like, yeah, that's a fair deal. And like, as soon as you get rid of a bunch of excess moving about, completely unnecessary, particularly like for our species, like I think given those of us, like we're basically born into it. Like I'm born so many decades after the plane already exists, so many decades after the train already exists. But really, do human beings really need to be going much farther from available food growing out of the ground and shelter? Do we really need to be going that far regularly? Think about like how far some people drive to and from work every day, like it just ain't no thing, right? Niggas be going damn near halfway across a fucking state and shit, right? Just like where I go to work, Like if I was just a casual nomadic person, that would be an area that I end up in like once a year because that's where the good berries grow, right? Like that would be the great trek that takes like 30 hours. But fucking no, we just drive there like it ain't no thing. We don't need to be moving like that. And remember, that's how the COVID started to spread. Like to me, it was beyond just like a class privilege thing where it was just like, oh, well, class privilege people are traveling and bringing it back. And then it's getting into circulation, especially once they get into customer service, right? They're going and the service person services them. They give it to their coworkers. Whoop, whoop, whoop. You know how it goes. Dominoes fucking fall. But really, do we actually need to jump in a fucking sky bus and ride the float boat across continents on a regular basis? Does our species really need to be doing that? You ever just consider when you're driving a car at 40 miles an hour that like you're comfortable because you're in a comfortable seat, maybe, right? The car rides kind of smooth. And in your head, it's like, yeah, no, the car is moving this fast. But why are we afraid of crashing? Because our human body ain't supposed to move that goddamn fast. The fuck is wrong with this species? Capitalism, patriarchy, and other such things. Mentioning patriarchy, on patreon.com/Wine Media Fund at the $10 a month level on the Phoenix and Williams show, we do have our full fume review of Father Muckin. Damn. That shit just, my brain wants to say hard candy, and that's super wrong. This is what it's like when you work over 80 hours a week. Promising Young Woman, the full film review of Promising Young Woman is up there, and it's uploaded to winecellarmedia.com. And I have Patreon integrated to Wine Cellar Media, so I can actually have the video posted to winecellarmedia.com as a Patreon post. And that way we can have the movie just straight up playing as we talk. And it can't be taken down by Facebook, YouTube, none of them. It's our website. We can just have it posted. And I strongly doubt the film company's going to come looking for us. And as we do more film reviews, that's exactly how the fuck I plan on doing them. Straight up playing it through and talking while it's playing. Of course, we already viewed it and made our notes, but we'll actually just play it and talk. I think that'll be a fly way of doing film reviews for the Phoenix and Williams show at the $10 a month level. Taking a look a little bit more of this.
Greenhouse emissions have
let me get this volume up.
drastically in.
Okay, that volume is way too low. I wanted to play this news reporter covering it, but this is coming off of News 10. 2-degree difference. Greenhouse gas emissions down 10%. As 2020 has passed us. This information was put up in January 18th, 2 days ago. And they're saying that as the United States greenhouse gas emissions drop drastically, and it's mainly because of the pandemic. Water is wet news. The drop helped the country meet a climate target. So literally, like, capitalism had to be forced to slow down a little bit. And think about just a little bit of slowdown in capitalism dropped 10%. 10%. Now imagine if we would have went with the Wacky William proposal that doesn't make any sense because I'm not educated and don't know things. Imagine you take sanitation professionals, right? Like, hell, on some level, I've worked with a sanitation department in a factory for over 2 years, so I would definitely take this job if it was offered. Sanitation professionals and medical professionals delivering essential supplies to people's homes, right? Hazmat suit, everyone's safe, doing things carefully, lock it down for 2 months of that. Sanitation professionals, medical professionals, delivering care, delivering supplies. What you need, the food, whoop, whoop, we'll get the fucking food to you. Toilet paper, the whoop, whoop, just get that shit to people's houses, lock shit down. There are people that actually really do need to leave for something. We can do these things much carefully. Could have slowed down capitalism way more. And hell, the slowdown that I would have wanted probably would have fucking brought a 40% decrease. Yeah, like we really don't have to be doing this shit to the climate. And looking at the folks over here at Reuters, I really never took this guy's face off the screen. Looking at the folks over here at Reuters, the IEA says oil, gas, methane emissions, they're also saying down 10%. And these folks are out of London is where this information is coming from. And they're saying global emissions of the potent greenhouse gas methane from oil and gas production dropped 10%. And again, mainly because of lower output as opposed to a concerted climate action. That's why I wanted to get that one in there, because the way they do that first paragraph, because it's the exact same news story, but they make sure to say this was not done on purpose. But now you can see, now imagine what we could do if we did it on purpose, systemically, in the macrocosm of commerce. Commerce isn't going to end, you fucking capitalist bootlickers. All right, you can still have it. I can actually stop screen share for a moment. Yeah, you can still, like, shit will still be traded. Taking a look at the archive chat space. Jessica May saying, awesome. There were some people saying this stuff wouldn't make that big of an impact before. That's great news. Yeah, I love climate news. Since I was a child and I was at Camas Prairie Elementary School in Spanaway, Washington State, and we had an assembly, and this little character called the Light Bug came out. And they taught us all about fucking global warming and the ozone layer. There's a hole in the ozone layer. And so, like, as a child, I was like this. Like, when a truck drove by and a bunch of exhaust was coming out, I, angry, like, you're polluting the environment. I was an angry child, outraged. And they said, hey, look, we got you on 2 cameras. Yes, I'm still like, the old busted laptop is still a laptop and can still do things, right? And the new one is new and can just do more things. So yeah, I will not just throw away the old one. I'll put it to work. It'll help me with screen sharing. And I think that's dope. I don't have the audio hardware to where I can share audio and screen share at the same time from this camera, but that investment is possible. But I got to get past the summer to get through that, because here, like, we're trying to snag up a mortgage this year. Really want to give that a shot. Apparently I have good credit. I actually didn't even think my credit was gonna be good. And then when I saw it, I also thought that number was too low. But then, like, when I'm talking to folks older than me that bought houses, and I'm looking at these videos by these realtors that are in the house selling business, like, they're talking about selling houses to people that have like a 600 and shit, selling houses to people that got a 580 and shit. So I'm like, oh, I'm fucking super in there then. Fuck it. But I think what I need to do is I need to take out like another debt or something, because apparently having debt is good. And which, thanks all the adults in my life when I was growing up for not telling me that. I spent my entire adulthood trying to not have debt, thinking that was the way to go, because everybody was always like, I ain't got no debt. That was the big thing to be proud of. I ain't got no debt. And come to find out, no, you is be wanting some datgum debt. Shit. So that really should be that. All right. And this is going to go on the socialized feed directly. I have I think I said earlier in this episode that yeah, more stuff is gonna go behind the pay. Like, so we already have the breakdown with Phoenix Calida at the $5 a month level at patreon.com/winecellarmediafund. And what I'm doing with the breakdown with Phoenix Calida is that's going to be where Swapcast is going to be. So her sex workers' rights news and coverage are going to be going straight there. And as the months go on, I'm actually going to be going to the Swapcast feed itself and taking those past episodes and putting them over there with the breakdown with Phoenix Calida. And then I'm ultimately just going to dissolve that RSS feed. And And then right there, I also have the $10 a month level, shows that Phoenix and I do when we do our full white on white crime episodes, any book clubbing, the movie reviews, all that stuff we do is going to be on the Phoenix and Williams show. And if I can get more regular with Maddie Stump, I would also add Maddie Stump at the $5 a month level. But we just got to record more regularly, whether it's weekly, bi-weekly, whatever we got to do. I would also add that at the $5 a month level. But then a program like this, just me doing straight news, that will be on the socialized feed, definitely for the rest of this year. I can't guarantee 2022. I might put the news at a $1 a month level, $1. And also everything, all over 1,000 episodes on the main feed. Those I'm also going to be dissolving that later this year and early next year, and putting all those episodes behind the $10 a month level. And I'm going to be on that model of only the newest like 10 episodes are on the socialized feed, and then the archives have to go behind the Patreon wall. Oh, there's Stephen Rivers up in the joint catching me right at the end. And Jessica May saying, why is this country so confusing? This country is confusion indeed. And also, I can't forget this. I have to have my printouts. The People's Library. These folks are dope. I think they're funky fresh. It's the People's Library ABQ. They're a community project of leftist theory, anarchist history, and radical education. They have books about queer, feminist, anti-racist theory, indigenous resistance, transformative justice, philosophy, and revolutionary thought. All right. You can look for them on the Facebooks, and they actually have a telephone number on their Facebook page. It's 505-788-8878. All right, so you can check them out. They are funky fresh. And the folks with Fury still have the Red Rag Mutual Aid Food Pantry out there in Logan Square in Chicago. All right. So you can send something there at 3521 West Cortlandt Street, Chicago. 3521 West Cortlandt Street. Cortland is without the letter U. It's Cortland. All right, and to make a monetary donation to the Red Rag Food Pantry, you can go on your PayPal and go to Fury. That's Furie. fury.chicago@gmail.com and specify with the word pantry in your note, if you want to go hit them up there and hold it down. And DC Love, what the hell? Oh shit, I have my these are my Tom Tillis show notes. Where's my DC Love printout? Shit. DC Love with the backpack drive. I'm just gonna go to DC Love's page to grab it real super duper extra mega hella smelly fast, because I failed on having the printout in immediate reach. Oh no, where is it? There we go. DC Love created a fundraiser, and it is it's at the top of their page here as soon as I go to it. And it says, from now to the end of February, I will be putting together more packs to distribute within King County or anywhere within reason that needs it, really, in an effort to make things a little easier on them, especially with the season being cold and a pandemic looming. 100% of donations will go directly toward needed supplies, hand warmers, backpacks, socks. Definitely socks, folks. Socks, gloves, stamped envelopes, feminine hygiene supplies, instant coffee fixins, condoms, etc. There are alternative ways to support. If you have a mask and some free time to distribute supplies, or even if you have an extra jacket lying around the house, you too can help us make a difference. All right. And DC Love has that right here. Can I copy link address and drop it in the comments of the Facebook Live? I think I can. I believe in myself. I may have done it. I'm proud of myself now. I'm super happy. All right, folks. Oh, and DC Love left a comment here saying, we've got 50 bags ready to go out already, thanks to donations and community effort. Folks. Oh, okay. The link I posted. Okay, it is showing up. I was like, oh, my link looks a little silly. All right, folks. I got to get the heck darn out of here. Let's see. It's 12:32 in the PM. And I need to be going and putting away this here laundry, scooping this here litter box, doing up some dishes, do a little sweepy moppy to the floorsy warsy, and garbage out. And then I need to make sure I have everything ready to get down to the factory and bust a shift, because it is very important that 400 protein bars a minute go out to market. Very important. All right. Capitalism is providing. You have been welcomed. All right, Futhermuckers, please be as safe as possible wherever you are. Shoot, I'm never ready to hit the stop button after I stop. I have to actually go to it. There's more. Stop live stream. There we go.